G'day, so you want to remove the back seat of your Hilux? This is how you do it. So this is an N70 Hilux, and if you have a quick Google, what you'll probably find is people will say, you know, just flip the base up and then lift, come straight out. That didn't exactly work for me. To speed your process up, this is how I would recommend doing it. So there's a trim panel back here. To make it a bit easier, you might want to pop your headrest off because your seat probably sits about there, and your headrest could get in the way. Flip the base up, and it'll give you a little bit of room between your firewall and the back of the seat. Grab a panel removal tool. I suppose you could do it carefully, with, get your fingers in there or something, but panel removal tool will make it easy. Stick it down there and pop it out. There's clips 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's what you're popping out of. And if you start from this, and there's 2 clips that'll clip into this side and then the same on the other end. And if you get that out, then you can just pop that panel out, pop that trim panel out, and then you can, with the seat, so lift it. There's a tag, a little tag at the bottom of your seat in the center. Pull that. That'll allow you to flip your seat up, and then with that trim panel removed, you'll be able to just lift the seat up. So it connects here, and there's a hook on the other side the same. Now, the trick here is, the reason why we were trying to lift it just go straight up, and we couldn't get it out with the trim panel in place. And the reason is, in a lot of these vehicles, when you're pulling off the back seat, it's just really a case of just lifting the seat back up and it'll come away. In the Hilux's case, it's not. Usually it's like that. It's like a V. And it'll just sit in there, and then you just lift it out. In the Hilux's case, it's a hook. There's a hook that sits there, and we couldn't get it out with the trim panel in place, because what you want to do is, you're lifting it, you want to push back to push that hook in. And with the trim panel in place, it was catching. The hook was just catching, and it wouldn't allow us to get it out. With the trim panel off, push, just kind of push against it and then lift, and it'll come away, no problems at all. First, we were heaving with the trim panel, and it would not budge. Trim panel off, first pull, you'll get it off, no worries. So reinstalling it is the reverse. Just lift it in and hook it onto there and there. Make sure she's centered. Pull your belts through. Your belts will fall out. You could push them down through the seat before you pull the seat out. We didn't, and just pulled it out. With 2 people, it's certainly going to be easier, one on each side of the vehicle, and just lift. But I have reinstalled this and then pulled it out by myself, and with the trim panel, you can get it out by yourself. A couple of things to be careful of. There's a couple of storage compartments in your floor down here, and they're only made of, that sandwich panel. So if you kneel on that, and that's where you're principally going to put your body weight, you'll put your knee right through it, or at least you'll crack it. So put your knee on the steel. Don't put your on these storage buckets. Don't put your knee on that, because you'll crack it or put your weight straight through it. So I wouldn't do that. Your trim panels on the side, your seat belts here, your retractable seat belts, they can all stay in place, and those will just drop through the seat as you pull it away. But getting that trim panel out first will make the operation a lot easier for you. And as I said, when you go back, there's 2 bolts here on either side. 1, 2, 1, 2. Just take them out. They're just a standard anchor bolt, 13 mil I think they are. Just undo them, pull them out. And then there's a locator lug there, which just sits on, as I said, installation is the reverse. Hook that on and then put it in. You'll see whether that's lined up at the bottom. You can bolt that back into place. That just sits there, and the hook will hold it in place once that trim panel's back in. When you pull the trim panel out, it will probably be the case that these little clips will stay behind, and you just squeeze and pull to pull them out, install them back to your trim panel again, and then you can push it in and it'll all clip into place, and then gently bang it down, and that'll reinstall it. Headrest back on again. With your seat lifted up, you can push your belts and your buckles through the seat, fold down, it'll clip into place, and you're good to go. That's how you get it out. But to save the anguish that we had and not being able to get it out without that trim panel in place, I take the headrests off and then pull that panel off. Make the job way quicker. Hope that was useful for you. Thanks for watching.